Tornadoes are devastating, and although I have never personally experienced or seen one before, tornadoes rank top 5 on the top most devastating natural disasters to occur naturally. And here in Canada, southern Ontario is the most common place for tornadoes to occur. So, without wasting any more time, this is causes and effects of tornado formation in southern Ontario. Let's start with the basic formation of any tornado. Mostly it's just high winds and rain that causes a tornado, but it isn't. First, a large thunderstorm occurs in a cumulonimbus cloud. Secondly, a change in wind direction and wind speed at high altitudes causes the air to swirl horizontally. Third, air rising from the ground pushes up on the swirling air and tips it over. Fourth, a funnel of swirling air because it sucks up warm air from the ground. Fifth, the funnel grows longer and larger and stretches towards the ground. And lastly, when the funnel touches the ground, it becomes a tornado. The causes of a tornado are different than the formation. What factors go into a tornado's formation? Some things I always were told to watch for are sudden temperature drop or rise, the wind picks up to the point where it sounds like a train is going by, and then the sudden calmness and still air. Dark sky, often a light shade of green. Wall clouds or approaching clouds of debris. And lastly, another common one is hail, which is the absence of rain. So, there are 5 different types of tornadoes. The first one is an E of 0, which is the weakest, wind speed ranging from 65 to 85 miles per hour. Next is an E of 1, which is still weak but is stronger, with a wind speed of 86 to 110 miles per hour. Now we're getting into what's classified as strong. An EF2, which is a wind speed of 111 to 135 miles per hour. An EF3, which is a wind speed of 136 to 165 miles per hour. Now we're into the violent tornadoes. An EF4, which has a wind speed of 166 to 200 miles per hour. And lastly, the most violent in the category is an EF5, which has a wind speed of over 200 miles per hour. They rarely occur, but they are devastating. How are tornadoes categorized? Well, a tornado can't be categorized until after the initial storm, but tornadoes are categorized by their wind speed and the amount of damage they cause. Scientists use a scale called the Enhanced Fujita scale, which is usually known as the EF scale, hence EF1, EF5, or EF0. A fact about what is considered one of the most devastating series of tornadoes in southern Ontario occurred when 14 tornadoes hit multiple communities on May 31st, 1985. 12 total people died, 8 of them in a Barrie, and 100 more were injured. The group of tornadoes also destroyed and damaged more than 1,000 buildings. How do tornadoes affect people? Depending on the category of the tornado, it can cause home damage or it can also cause home destruction. Anybody who is unfortunate enough to not make it to a shelter before a tornado hits will most likely either wind up severely injured and will likely need to be rushed to a hospital, or there's a good chance, depending on the category, they can wind up dead. A common thing to affect people after a tornado is shock. Some people even end up with long-lasting PTSD after a tornado and have to receive therapy, and depending if they were injured, physical therapy. Like I stated earlier, I have never seen a tornado in real life, but I have been really close. My area of Holstein has never been through a tornado, at least not one on record. But just last year in October, November, we got a really close call. A wall cloud with green inside it approached my town. The wind picked up and it sounded like a train. The sky got almost as dark as night and the rain was pounding. Personally, it was terrifying. We had everything ready to go down in the basement, but thankfully it cleared up and it never came to that. The closest a tornado has ever been to my town was back in 2009 when an EF2 tornado tore through Durham, south of Owen Sound, which killed an 11-year-old boy who got struck by a piece of debris in the conservation area. My grandmother was in this tornado as well, but the house she was in was down a hill. It's like almost a ditch, and the tornado went right over, leaving only a torn backyard. Thank you for watching, and here is my setup.